Now, take your imagination backwards. That this one in the red is not a doctor but a patient. And all the ones around him, the 100 ones, are specialists. You say, yeah, sure, I have this pain, orthopedic surgeon, neurologist, cardiologist, gastroenterologist, rheumatologist, I need all of them. 100 doctors are spending 100 consulting hours on one person. They would benefit him. It's not that they will not benefit him. But the chances are they will benefit only 5 out of 100. The remaining 90 do not need him. So there is also a need to sift out and see who are the persons who are really going to benefit from these super specialists. So this is one conundrum that I think we need to keep in mind. This I brought in, we measure that if there is a disease, how many life years are lost from that. It is called disability adjusted life years. So if there is a problem, let's say there is a Ebola problem, dengue problem, diabetes problem, how many life years in a nation get lost? So it's indicating that so many years of pool together of everybody are lost. And the height shows how many are lost. So if you really look at it, the blue one talks about diarrhea. So there are 5 segments, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are based on the age. The first one is 0 to 4 years and the last one is 60 and the last one is total and before that is 60. So you have an age spread out. If you look at it, diarrhea is what is causing the maximum problem to the nation, to this loss of this. Even a cardiologist can treat it, there is no problem. But do we need to have a cardiologist or a neurosurgeon recruited as a primary health doctor, posted in PSC and treat this is something that we should think about. Finally, apart from the doctors and the specialists that are available, one more important thing is the money. How much money do we spend on healthcare? We've been spending less than 1% for donkey's number of decades. 0.8%, 0.9%. Like Hindu rate of growth, it never increased. It's only during the past plan, 5-year plan, it went up from 0.9% to 1.2%. And the last plan, this current plan, ongoing plan, the idea is it should go to 2.5%. I don't know whether we have the capability to spend it also. It's a good idea. How much does the world spend? World spends on an average 8 to 10% of their GDP on health. How much does America spend? They've been spending 18% and I'm told it might have crossed 20%. They spend the maximum, highest. No wonder everybody wants to go there. What do they get about it? How do they see their health care with so much of money being spent? And how does the rest of the world sees it? The rest of the world says UK, which has got a system similar to ours, a network, a basic primary health care network, they have a National Health Service, NHS, is doing way better than the American system at fraction of the cost. So you are spending 40% and you are deriving a benefit which is 300%. What do the Americans think about it? They spend 17.7 because it is a it's I think 2012 figure. Look at this figure, it's a little complicated one. Now, if you look at it, what it is showing is, as you see, these are cumulative figures. So what it is showing is, the last 5% if you see, take away 50% of the cost. 95% if you see, 50% of the cost is for the 95% and the remaining 50% goes for the top 5% of the patients. Top 5% of the patients. Why are they top 5%? They might be rich, they might have difficult diseases, they go to ICUs, and now they are having a debate as to whether it really serves a purpose. And this is also a part of our debate. If you spend a large amount of money and increase the survival by a few days, is it really worthwhile, or are you making the life even more miserable? So we need the specialist, we are not denying that. How many do we need? How best can we use? And should we straight away run to a dozen specialists or 100 specialists is a question that we would want you to raise today. Psychiatrist, the man who treated our doctor. Psychiatry is very sparse. We don't have too many psychiatrists available. We have 400 psychiatrists who come out from in 1 year. They add up. Remember that they keep adding up. We don't even have specialities underneath there. But they've been very vocal. And WHO says 70 million in this country might be having problems, psychiatric problems. Their number is not too many, but they came out with a bill which has been passed and will look after a lot of problems. So this probably will benefit a large population, and a population that thinks there is a stigma to these psychiatric problems because somebody has taken up that issue and the numbers for the specialists are not there. So you can always make a big difference even if the number of these super specializations or these super specialists is small. Finally, you and me, where do we go? The patient is nervous. Why is he nervous? He is told you have a chest pain. If I don't put a stent, you're going to die. When you're going to die, I cannot tell you. It can be any moment. Why don't you put it in, sir? He says, okay, I'll put it in. What kind of a stent do you want? You want a ordinary stent? You want a deluxe stent? You want a super deluxe stent? What is it? I don't understand. No, I understand. I'll tell you the details, but it's up to you. But what is the difference? You know, the difference is obviously super deluxe is better. It's my heart, it's my life. Why would you not put the super deluxe? CGHS doesn't give you more than 25,000. Remember that. Sir, never mind. 1 lakh I'll give from my pocket. The patient's dilemma is, where do I go? Whether I am getting the right information, whether I need to visit the 100 specialists, whether I can do with one. So he is always confused. There are medical lobbies. The doctor with the super deluxe stent may have an interest not only in putting the stent, but other interests also maybe. The pharmaceuticals and these medical devices that are coming in, they are flooding our market with all those. They have a reason to sell them. They will not be able to sell them unless they advertise them. So we have a situation where there is a pressure from the medical and the pharmaceutical and the device makers to sell them, and we have a patient who is confused, and on top of that we have these regulations whether you can allow anybody other than a urologist to carry out a prostate surgery. This question was raised by one of the prime ministers and the file came to us, that should not all the prostate surgeries be done by urologists. So the regulations to what extent can be stretched is another issue, and these three we have to balance. And I think that is where I will stop. I have taken more time. I am hoping somebody will come and continue. So the question is, if there is a chest pain, where do you go? Thank you so much. And we'll now proceed to the discussion.
Journalists are vanishing now with so many institutes coming up. We hardly find a journalist after 11 now.